On the stimulus front, I'm glad you got that in as to really to at the end there, because this is really what we're looking at. And I listen, I don't know about how much the market is moving on it right now, because I do believe Wall Street believes a deal will happen. It's just a matter of when. But I do believe there's certain segments of Main Street that needs it to happen today. Obviously, if it happened today, markets would also positively react. There's no doubt about that. Just the fact that President Trump has come up so much, $1.8 trillion, he's willing to go higher. And it's not about the dollar amount, it seems. It seems it's about what you're going to use it for. No, we shouldn't be bailing out blue state pension funds. We shouldn't be funding blue state red carpet programs to welcome anyone into their state, on social assistance programs. Yes, we can go higher, but let's be smart about it. There are things that obviously everyone knows that would benefit all Americans rather than pull blue states out of the hole. This initial jobless claims number we got today, you look at these states that are hit the hardest, Hawaii, California, Illinois. There's a reason for it. Also, I like the idea that President Trump talked about opening the economy, keeping it open, no national lockdown. We opened under pressure this morning in large part because Europe is under tremendous pressure. The German market was down almost 3%. In the UK, Boris Johnson is really dealing with what they're calling the circuit breaker. What's that? Locking down the entire country again. That sends shivers down the spines of investors and workers, by the way, many of whom are lucky that they were able to get back to work and keep their families fed.
You're right, Charles. Hold on a moment. I want to bring in Jason Chaffetz. Jason joins us this morning. I'm sure you watched that interview. Your main takeaway, Jason.
It was a great interview, so congratulations. That was very well done. The stimulus is what affects every single American. I think the market also understands that Nancy Pelosi has a political imperative to make sure the president is not elected. She doesn't want those checks going out to Americans right as they are going into the polls. So I think she's going to come up with all kinds of excuses. She has buried that bill with superfluous things that have nothing to do with the recovery of COVID. And so I think she's going to hold that back, despite the president willing to go higher than $1.8 trillion.
Yeah, politically, it's a question of who gets the blame if we don't get a stimulus package. And I'd have to say that if the president is offering to go well above $1.8 trillion, and Speaker Pelosi refuses to talk to him on the phone and won't accept that deal and won't come down a little bit, I got to say that Speaker Pelosi has to take the blame here.
I think the White House communication needs to be much clearer that they're just asking for a clean bill. Money from the Treasury to the American people directly. Nothing else in the bill. And if they can just communicate that really clearly and continue to show all this other junk that is in there that is holding up this bill, I think they can win on that message.
Well, that's what the president said. He doesn't want that other stuff in there. He wants the money, the extra money, go to the workers. You know, we really are talking about an enormous amount of money. 1.8 trillion and above that. I mean, $2 trillion is roughly, Charles, roughly a 10% injection, 10% of GDP injection in cash into the economy. That's an enormous stimulus, isn't it, Charles?
It is an enormous stimulus on top of all the other stimulus that's already been injected, and yet this is a global issue. Everywhere around the world, they're injecting money into their societies, because once you lock an entire society down, one thing we're finding out is really hard to restart it. And you know what was intriguing when you were having this interview conversation with President Trump? There was one point that I felt a little bit melancholy in the sense that he knows that the work that he has done, the economic momentum we had coming into this virus, the things they've done since then, and what, what they've done with Operation Warp Speed, he said next year the economy is going to be even bigger than last year. He knows it. He wants to be in charge of that because he knows if Biden wins, he's going to get some credit for that. The American consumer, those folks who are working are sitting on trillions of dollars. The businesses are investing. The home market's going through the roof. We are poised with the vaccine and one more round of stimulus to have a monstrous 2021.
Okay, you second that,
to the
Jason
upside.
Chaffetz? A monstrous 2021? You second that, Jason?
Wholeheartedly. I think a lot of things are being held up in Washington, D.C. because the Democrats don't want Donald Trump to have any part of success. Put that behind him. Let Donald Trump do what he does best, and we can get back to what it was like last year and even bigger numbers. By the way, one other news item I think that you got out of that was Donald Trump saying there would be no federal mandate that everybody would have to take the vaccine.
Right,
I think that's an important point, that it would be voluntary.
Very important. All right, gentlemen, thanks for joining.